Imagine if everything you learned about the history of humanity could be wrong, or at least incomplete. That's right, some archaeological discoveries simply don't fit with what the books tell us. And when that happens, the academic world goes into an uproar, trying to explain the unexplainable. In this video, we're going to dive into findings that seem to defy logic. Objects and constructions that look like they belong to another time, or even another civilization. It's as if we had stumbled upon clues left behind by time travelers. And don't think we're talking about science fiction. We're talking about metal pieces found in rock layers millions of years old, maps that show continents before they were officially discovered, and technologies so advanced that to this day, no one knows how they were possible. It sounds like something out of a movie, but it really happened. So the big question arises, is our timeline truly complete? Or is there a lost chapter of humanity that no one dares to write? Get ready, because every story we're going to tell here is an invitation to rethink what we know about the past. And in the end, you'll decide for yourself. Are we facing mere coincidences or something much bigger? So, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join us on this journey through time, because the next discoveries will leave you speechless. Now check this out. In 1938, an archaeologist named Wilhelm König found in Baghdad an object that at first glance looked like a simple ceramic jar, but inside it was a copper tube and an iron rod. What does that mean? When analyzed, researchers discovered the artifact could function as a battery. Yes, you heard that right, an electric battery more than 2,000 years old. Just imagine, the so-called Baghdad battery could generate a small electric current. Not enough to light a modern bulb, of course, but sufficient for chemical reactions such as electroplating, the process of coating metals with gold or silver. And here's the question, how could ancient peoples, without even knowing the concept of electricity as we do today, have developed something like this? Was it an accident, a lost experiment, or was their knowledge far more advanced than we think? Some scholars even suggest that this artifact may have been used in religious rituals to create a shocking special effect that would impress worshippers. But let's face it, whatever the explanation, the very existence of this object is already a slap in the face to our traditional view of history. And if there were batteries in Mesopotamia, what else might they have invented that we simply haven't discovered yet? If the Baghdad battery already sounds unbelievable, wait until you hear this. In 1936, workers in Oklahoma, United States, found something curious inside a solid piece of coal millions of years old. When they broke it open, there it was. A metal bell. That's right, a bronze bell with detailed carvings and even a small handle shaped like a human figure. Now think about it. How could an object made by human hands be trapped inside coal that, geologically speaking, formed hundreds of millions of years ago? It's like opening a rock from the dinosaur age and finding a TV remote hidden inside. Many archaeologists and scientists dismissed this discovery, claiming there must have been a mistake in dating, or that the object ended up there by accident. But the fact remains, the bell exists, it was studied, and to this day, there is no definitive explanation. Some alternative researchers suggest it could be evidence of civilizations far older than we imagine, which disappeared without leaving traces, except for these small file errors that time insists on revealing. And this leads us to an uncomfortable question. Did human history really begin only a few thousand years ago, or are we just seeing the tip of a giant iceberg? Now brace yourself, because this one is chilling. The Piri Reis map. In 1513, a Turkish admiral named Piri Reis drew a world map that still baffles scholars worldwide. The most astonishing detail. It shows parts of South America with incredible accuracy, and even Antarctica, centuries before it was officially discovered. That's right, Antarctica was only recorded by modern science in 1820, but the Piri Reis map, made 300 years earlier, already depicted it, and believe it or not, without ice, showing coastlines that were only confirmed in the 20th century with radar technology. Imagine how it was possible for someone in the 16th century to have access to that kind of information. Piri Reis claimed to have used ancient sources, maps from navigators lost to time, some even dating back to the era of Alexander the Great. The big question is, who created those original maps? Did ancient civilizations explore seas we believe were never navigated? And more, how could they have known regions that have been under ice for thousands of years? For some, it's just historical coincidence. For others, it's evidence that very ancient societies already had advanced knowledge in navigation and cartography, perhaps even using techniques we would consider impossible today. And here's the most curious point. If Piri Reis had access to information that we only rediscovered centuries later, how many other secrets might be hidden in forgotten documents? Now let's head to India, where an artifact challenges even modern engineers: the Iron Pillar of Delhi. Erected more than 1,500 years ago, this 7-meter-high structure remains practically intact, showing no significant signs of rust, even though it has been exposed to sun, rain, and the region's harsh climate. Just imagine, even today industry struggles against the corrosion of iron and steel, spending billions on protective techniques, yet somehow ancient craftsmen created a metal alloy so resistant that it survived more than a millennium without decaying. Researchers discovered that the pillar has a protective oxide layer that prevents rust from spreading. But the big question is, how did they achieve this result without microscopes, laboratories, or modern chemical knowledge? Was it chance, or mastery of a technique that somehow was lost to time? And here's the most thought-provoking part. If this technology had been preserved, we might be centuries ahead in metallurgy. It's as if humanity had taken a giant step, only to fall back, forgetting the path. The pillar still stands there imposing, attracting visitors from all over the world, as a silent witness that our history may not be as linear as we believe. And this makes us wonder, how many other brilliant discoveries were simply erased, buried, or forgotten in the corridors of time? Now let's cross the ocean and arrive in Peru, where the mysterious Nazca lines continue to baffle archaeologists and enthusiasts alike. Imagine a vast plain in the desert, etched with gigantic figures that only make sense when viewed from above. Birds, monkeys, spiders, perfect geometric shapes. And here's the intriguing detail. These lines were made more than 1,500 years ago by a civilization that had no hot air balloons, drones, or airplanes. So how could they have had the exact sense of scale to draw such gigantic figures? It's like asking someone to sketch a colossus on a football field without ever climbing the bleachers to see the result. Some scholars believe the lines were ritualistic, a form of communication with the gods. Others say they might have been a gigantic astronomical calendar, but honestly, nothing fully explains the precision of the drawings. Others say they might have been a gigantic astronomical calendar, but honestly, nothing fully explains the precision of the drawings. And if that wasn't enough, here's something even more mysterious. Despite being made on the desert floor, exposed to wind and erosion, the lines have remained visible for over 1,000 years. It's as if whoever created them knew exactly how to preserve their work through time. So were the Nazca lines messages to the gods, astronomical markers, or something even stranger? Landing strips for ancient visitors, as some more daring theories suggest. Whatever the case, the mystery remains unsolved. Each of these discoveries, the Baghdad Battery, the Bronze Bell in Coal, the Piri Reis map, the Iron Pillar of Delhi, and the Nazca lines, has one thing in common. They challenge the conventional story we've been told about humanity's past. Maybe these are isolated coincidences. Maybe they're fragments of a history much more complex than we can imagine. What's certain is that they force us to ask uncomfortable questions. How much do we really know about our own origins? And how many other secrets are still buried out there waiting to be uncovered? So stay curious, because the search for answers has only just begun. And remember, every discovery has the power to rewrite history. Now tell me, do you think these are just myths and misunderstandings, or true evidence of a forgotten chapter in humanity's story? And here comes the cherry on top. Despite being exposed for centuries, the lines remain visible, preserved by the desert's dry climate. It's as if nature itself conspired to keep this enigma safe for us. Could the Nazca people have had knowledge we simply underestimate? Or are we facing something we don't even know how to begin explaining? Either way, the Nazca lines remain a huge question mark etched into the earth and into the sky of our imagination. Now, hold on to this. In 1900, Greek divers found in the wreck of a sunken ship near the island of Antikythera an object covered with incrustations. At first, it seemed like nothing more than a corroded block, but once cleaned, it revealed something unbelievable, a mechanism with extremely complex bronze gears. Named the Antikythera mechanism, it is considered by many the first analog computer in history, created more than 2,000 years ago. That's right. While we believe such sophisticated gears only appeared in the Middle Ages, this device was already able to predict eclipses, track planetary movements, and even calculate the dates of the ancient Olympic Games. Just imagine the scene. In the 2nd century BC, someone turned a crank and watched the positions of the sun, moon, and stars moving across a panel of gears. It sounds like science fiction, but it really happened. The most impressive part is that the complexity of this mechanism would not be equaled again for more than 1,000 years. So the question remains, who designed something so advanced at a time when the height of technology was catapults and aqueducts? Some historians believe it was the product of a lost tradition of Hellenistic engineering. Others suggest there may have been unknown masters, true Einsteins of antiquity, whose inventions simply vanished with time. And if such a mechanism was found by chance at the bottom of the sea, how many other secrets are still waiting to be revealed? Now, let's go to South Africa, where a discovery still raises eyebrows to this day: the so-called Klerksdorp spheres. Imagine small metallic spheres, some with perfect grooves around them, found in geological deposits more than 3 billion years old. Yes, billion with a B. These objects were discovered by miners in the 1970s and quickly became a mystery. How could such symmetrical shapes with regular ridges exist in rocks formed long before complex life even existed? Some scientists argue they are natural formations, the result of rare geological processes. But here's the catch. Many of the spheres are so precisely shaped that they look manufactured. It's as if someone had left carefully polished metal marbles inside a natural vault that stayed sealed for billions of years. Imagine cracking open a prehistoric rock and finding something that looks like it came straight from a modern machine shop. That's exactly the feeling. Of course, the most widely accepted explanation is still natural. Minerals formed under pressure and time. But the perfection of the shapes makes many wonder if there isn't more to it. And here's the most intriguing detail. Some of these spheres are made of extremely hard materials, almost impossible to cut with common tools. So what are they really? Products of nature's whim, or traces of something that completely escapes our understanding? Now let's cross the ocean and dive underwater, in Japan. In 1986, divers near Yonaguni Island in Okinawa found a gigantic structure on the seafloor. At first glance, it looked like rock formations, but the more they looked, the more everything seemed designed by human hands. Named the Yonaguni Monument, this submerged structure resembles a step pyramid, with platforms, staircases, and right angles that hardly look like natural work. Imagine massive stone blocks perfectly aligned, with corridors, and even what some believe to be columns. And here comes the explosive question. If it was indeed built by humans, it would have to date back more than 10,000 years, before the end of the last ice age, when sea levels were much lower. In other words, centuries before any known civilization developed large-scale architecture. Many geologists insist it's just natural formations shaped by erosion and marine currents. But alternative archaeologists argue that we're looking at the remains of a lost city, maybe even a Pacific Atlantis. The most curious part is that to this day there's no consensus. Some divers swear they can see carved symbols on the stones, as if they were marks left by ancient builders. So the question remains, is Yonaguni proof of a forgotten civilization? Or just another trick of nature fooling our eyes? After traveling through all these mysteries, one feeling is hard to ignore. Do we really know our own history? From batteries in clay jars to submerged pyramids in Japan, from impossible maps to indestructible iron pillars, each discovery is like a loose piece of a giant puzzle we still can't put together. And the most fascinating thing is realizing that official history, the one we learn in books, may be just a simplified version, adjusted to fit in straight lines. But reality is full of curves, detours, and surprises. Just imagine, how many brilliant inventions were forgotten? How many cities vanished without a trace? How many objects are still hidden beneath layers of earth, waiting to become the next archaeological scandal? It's as if the past is constantly challenging us to dig deeper, to question more, to not accept everything so rigidly. And maybe that's the most incredible point. Every enigma that appears is not just an ancient mystery, but also a reminder that curiosity is what drives us forward. Because if those peoples achieved such extraordinary feats, just imagine what we are capable of when we dare to ask, what if? Now tell me, which of these discoveries blew your mind the most? Do you believe advanced civilizations once existed and disappeared without a trace? Leave your opinion in the comments, give this video a like, and of course, subscribe to the channel to keep traveling with me through these incredible secrets of time.